Make sure.
Good to go?
We're good to go whenever you guys are.
All recording, bro?
Let's dribble some shit.
All good. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Superior Podcast. I'm here with the boss man again, and we've brought in Ryan, who is the captain of social media crap talking. But this week, we're going to be chatting about new cars. There is so many new cars coming to the market across Australia. It went from 5 years ago where we had Nissan, Toyota and Ford to now an unimaginable amount of new cars coming out. So chatting about the differences between them all with EVs, diesels, petrols, some of them changing, like the Y63 to going to a V6 from a V8. There's a lot going on across the industry at the moment with all new cars coming out this year.
Even a bit more of a shake-up with the Nissan side of things with the Y63 is we might not even get it yet, for rumour has it.
Yes.
Yeah, there's still that bit of an issue that Nissan had with the venture with Honda, I believe it was, that sort of went south.
Yeah, it went south,
So we'll see where that sort of pans out. So yeah, the Y63 might not come to fruition.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to see what would come of the Y63, especially when it got released in the Middle East. Because it was coming out on the same platform engine as the GTR, or the GTR 35. Like, there's instant power modifications that get dropped straight to the market then and there, which would have been made for some pretty cool Y63s.
Hopefully they've let go of the guy who designed the wood grain interior in the 62 because that was horrendous.
But yeah, other than that, there is so many new cars. I guess it's staying in the base of big full drives, like in your patrol and that. The Yukon, GMC Yukon's coming out. Well, it is out, I believe.
It's out now. They must have released that bit secretly. That or no one could afford one. So I haven't seen one on the road just yet.
No, yeah.
But just doing a bit of research, I've found out that, it's been out for at least a couple of months now.
Yeah, right. And it's still a 6.2 V8.
Yeah, it'd be an LT platform.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is, I guess you could say for the people that don't know, that's your Gen 5 of the LS-based stuff.
Yeah, just the next generation of the LS platform.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a massive, massive car compared to a 300 or Y62 or anything like that. It's a much bigger version of a car, like with anything American, anything in your GMCs, Chevs and that.
I don't know how, like a lot of these people are driving cars, these big US trucks and that, how they're driving them in some of our car parks and that.
Yeah.
Like you go to whatever, Woolworths, Coles, whatever, Bunnings, car parks are so small, yet these trucks are getting so big.
Yeah, that's exactly what I always see them. They're always parked ages away from the door. But yeah, some of them, like driving around like your 3500s and that sort of thing. Massive
big
car.
Truck. Yeah. It's horses for courses, I suppose. But if you're a tradie or something and you need the space.
That's exactly right. Like you've seen a couple on the way up here this morning that stacked with wood and that sort of thing heading to site. Like there is definitely the place where, especially if you need big towing. If like there's guys out there that are towing Bobcat and excavator to site every day outside of buying a truck, they've got to go to, which their class as a truck anyway. They're in that NB2 category, which is over your 4.5 ton GVM. So they're log booked cars anyway. So you sort of need that without if you're going to a four drive Hino or something like that, where they're big weight carrying capacities in cars.
I've noticed that big American trucks really suit the concrete company guys who actually put nothing in the tray. That's really well suited for them. I see heaps on the road.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also work and play, because on the weekends, most of the time they're towing around 40-foot caravans and, they've got a catamaran or something they've got to get to site. So they do cover both bases.
Yeah, it's very, very true. That is the thing as well. Caravans, caravan manufacturers, like, it's getting, in my opinion, with touring and that sort of thing, it's getting to a point of, it's going too far. Like the weight that having some of these caravans and these trucks and that get around, it's just like, why do you need that much stuff to go camping for the weekend? Like, especially like there's a lot of them like got this massive big caravan and all the stuff, and they go to a big 4 caravan park that's a car park that's got a pool, and you don't need all the stuff in it. Like they've got a restaurant.
And most people now go to things like big 4s. Like if you've got a family, young kids and that, they go big 4s and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like it's some of the stuff that I see out there on the road is getting, like, to me, like I'm just a swag and a carton of beer camping kind of guy. Like it just, some of the stuff I just like, wow, like coffee machines and all that sort of stuff in these cars, like just carrying the weight around. To me as well, coming from, I like full driving. Like if I'm going camping, I want to go full driving. The weight that are going in these cars is just not suited to go full driving as well. Like you'd have to pack up half your camp to be able to go out and go full driving again. It's some of it is it's getting so big and heavy.
And you have
It
the
is a bit of a lifestyle though.
Oh, definitely, yeah, it is a lifestyle. And obviously some people choose to do that sort of stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of weight going in cars. And like, I think, yeah, your GMC Yukon will be suited to it. I'd like to know the towing capacity in that on them. I haven't seen any of it. Any of the stuff I've read, they haven't sort of released it as it's going to be that suited for GVM and that people talk about with your 300 and Y62s and that sort of thing. It hasn't really been spoken about in the space of aftermarket accessories.
Yeah, I think they're pitching this more towards luxury as opposed to a bit of a workhorse that'll tow your caravan or your boat, so on and so forth. I think these are going to be more towards the people who, they would usually buy a 300 Sahara or something like that, but want something a little bit different. I mean, they do look cool.
Yeah,
they
definitely.
look like something you'd use in a drive-by, so I'm not sure how popular they'll become over here, but they are definitely something a bit different if you want to enter that luxury big four-wheel drive market. With, I wouldn't say without spending a lot of money because they're very expensive.
Oh, that's it. That's what I was about to say. Is like 174,000, I think I read, plus on roads.
Yeah, so best part of 200.
Yeah, well, you got 30% luxury car tax on top of that, so it's an extremely expensive car. So yeah, it's maybe a bit harder to sell it if you don't have the benefit of that, like people do with that American trucks, where it's goes both ways. Can be a site vehicle and tow your caravan on the weekend. So it may be a bit of a harder sell for the manufacturers.
Yeah, there'll be a market for it. Like, I don't know, and for a financial point of view, whether I buy a GMC Delaney or a 3-bedroom house in Caboolture for the same sort of money, it's sort of, whether you're going to make that investment or not, but they'll start popping up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you're always going to see like people drive around in G-Wagons because they look nice. Like, it's the same sort of thing. Like, I'd happily own a G-Wagon, which they were extremely popular. Reading all the articles and that on new vehicles coming into Australia, they were a massive, like, there's 2 models of G63 coming out and that sort of thing, which was sort of blew me away that they would be represented in the full drive market because they're a luxury car. Like, no one's going off-road in a brand new G-Wagon.
Yeah.
Still be all right. I watched that Whistling Diesel.
He thrashed that thing.
It went pretty good.
Yeah, oh, that's it. What did he jump at 90 foot?
I don't know the exact details. Yeah, he certainly flogged it.
But yeah, we're stepping outside of America. I guess we've got to look into the Chinese market because that is taking over. It is so big and so many manufacturers across all of China. And then there's, what do we got coming into Australia now? The JAC, you've got the GWM Cannons, BYD.
Yeah, BYD's trying to take over.
BYD is trying to take over. I don't see that ever being big in the full drive industry because they've been proven to be pretty useless off-road by Mad Matt and stuff. They've taken them and broken some stuff. But yeah, it's one thing that they haven't released in Australia with the BYD Shark is the Beast mode. So
yeah, I did see something on the internet about that. Apparently it's a software update or something.
Yeah, so it's essentially in China they have a software update. So if I don't know if we are giving a bit of a shout out to Mad Matt, but a lot of people who watch his video driving up Birracock Hill, it seems to just stop drive. And essentially that's the angle reading parameter.
Yeah, that'll break traction or something like that.
Yeah, it does something like it stops input because like a lot of people think they're a hybrid, but all the engine does is charge the battery. It's not actually putting drive to the wheels. So it drives up and it's sort of the electric system drops out and stops drive. The beast mode cancels that out, so it continues drive.
So it drives like a normal car, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When you put it down, it actually goes forward.
Yeah, it goes forward and up a hill. And that's what, it's in all of them, they have it like in the dash of all these cars, they have your different modes. It's got it in China currently. They just haven't brought that software update into Australia as yet.
You wonder what these guys bringing these things into the country are thinking, like to bring a vehicle into Australia, currently 2025, that can't climb a hill safely is insane. Like for the amount of safety things now everyone whacks on about.
Yeah.
They're putting more and more in cars that are becoming unsafe half the time. Imagine whatever you had your wife driving and it had to go up a hill because you were injured or something like that.
Yeah.
She doesn't know about this so-called beast mode. Gets the thing half stuck on the side of a ridge and goes backwards down the hill.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see if they go like the Tesla route where they charge for these updates as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's where I go.
Are capable of doing it with a software update where you've got to spend $5,000.
Yeah, you got a
to have this
subscription
software
now.
update.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Yeah, which is going where everything's going to subscription based. It doesn't matter across. Like it started with Netflix and now it's everything. That's all coming into cars, and yeah, you're right. It will get to a point where you get your base model and it's a road car, and then you just keep paying. Like it'll go like how you have like a Telstra based ute that's sort of very basic to your off-road model, and all it is typing into a computer to change what it does.
Yeah. Oh, you want your heated seats to work? That's $30 a month.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it will all come down to that, and that's just how I guess you gain more control in the market of what you're looking to do.
Well, it makes that car look cheap at the very start if you're putting a base model out on the market.
Exactly, yeah, and you get all of the features of it looking nice, but then they're just hitting yes, and it's an extra $10,000, and all they did was click a button. It's a lot easier way to make profit than actually putting parts in cars.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see if that's where it goes.
Yeah.
And it will.
Yeah, 100%. It has to, yeah. And like for it to just be, software updates and like that, like, it's an easy way to print money. So of course they're going to start doing that thing. The less work they have to do and that sort of thing, and the more profit any business can make without giving something out, like or making a physical thing and then having to make profit on that, it's a much easier.
Someone probably did the math and worked out having 5 different production lines to manufacture the same car with different features. It's a lot cheaper to make one production line and then charge people for the added extras to activate them or make them work once they're...
Exactly right. It's kind of like the opposite for Jeeps. Jeeps, you get those, the tasers out of America, and you can get them in, like for instance, our Jeep JT, you can plug one in and turn everything off.
It's pretty cool.
Like it's unreal. Like the Jeeps and everything in America, they know that people buy Jeeps to go off-road.
Yeah.
And they literally, you can get the tasers and you can get to a point where you can turn the horn off, turn the radio off, turn the airbags off, like just everything is turned off. You can virtually have a car that turns on and that's it. Like it's...
Yeah, I was surprised when we bought it and had a look at it, what you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's how it should be.
Oh, that's exactly right.
You should be able to buy a car. It's your car. You've paid for it. And you should be able to do what you want with it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
As far as turning bits on and off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it should be like, in my opinion, if you're going to go and buy a new car and you want to go off-road, you have the choice of virtually a 79 and a Jeep. The Jeep, we took it to Glasshouse last week sometime. Obviously, we've done our SSM with long arms, 37s, all the stuff.
Yeah, you got to remember our kit that you took 2 cars out there. The Cruiser is a bigger GVM, so your coils are that little bit stiffer too.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, you've got, and that was kind of why we took both, is to show that the difference of one is set up as more of a wheeler, and the Cruiser's definitely, like it 100% can still be wheeled like no tomorrow, like obviously Shane proved that the other day. He was the only one that winched though.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Shane was on the winch on the first track. But the Cruiser still does it all, but the Jeep with its gearing and all that sort of stuff, obviously we choose the Rubicon for that reason. All the features that come in that Rubicon of twin locked, sway bar disconnect, low range is, it's twice as low as what a Cruiser is. I think a Cruiser is a 2.0.
So that's a massive difference.
Yeah. So the Jeep is 4.0 to 1. So that's a hugely low gear. Then an 8-speed automatic. So like the control I had on that vehicle, we just pop it in first gear. One of the tracks the first track we drove where Shane winched, it had just washed it out and it just had a big rut and there was a tree. So we're just trying to avoid the tree. And I could just see it, tiniest little bit of throttle input and the car would just keep crawling forward, and it made it so capable off-road. I think Jeeps cop a pretty hard rap, but yeah, they're unreal off-road. Our Gladiator with our SSM in it is unreal with the long arms and that. It just unlimited amount of wheel travel. It was awesome off-road car.
Beauty about that low gearing too is you can go up to a 37-inch tyre and not have to re-gear the thing.
That's exactly
Still
right.
got a lot of control, a lot of slow-speed crawl.
Yeah, it was like even going downhill, we dropped down off Hennessy Hills, just off that rock step at the top of it. And I was not even on the brake, just letting it crawl under its own power. And I was nervous about it dropping off that just because of how long the wheelbase is and then the overhang on the rear. I was expecting the tow bar to hit, but you could just keep the perfect amount of control in it. Even if it did hit, which it didn't, it would just be a tap and keep going. Like we had Shane other Shane, we had 2 Shanes with us. In his Patrol was a 2.8 where you've got to drive it to make it go anywhere.
I heard he struggled a bit with the horsepower factor.
That's all it was. Like the car is extremely capable, but you can't crawl it. And it's just a 2.8 thing. Everyone knows about a Nissan 2.8 is. I've found that he was, he hit his tow bar on things and that sort of thing just because he was just having to drive the car that little bit harder.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Jeep Gladiator. It's, awesome car off-road. And that's, the new cars in the realm of going off-road. The 79 and the Jeep are definitely going to be your 2 biggest, best off-roaders, that's for sure.
Yeah, there was talk last year about Jeep dropping the Gladiator, but it looks like it's going to be coming.
You reckon it's going to come back?
I believe it will. I was speaking to someone hopefully in the know in this side of things, and there's no word about it being dropped entirely, so I think we're just waiting on some bit more update to see what comes around.
They raised the price again.
Or something.
They raised the price. They were like 85 and then they dropped them to 65. Now they're back to like 75. So they,
might have just been trying to clear stock.
Trying to clear old stock, and that's exactly right. But yeah, they definitely, you see them everywhere. Like see Jeep Gladiators everywhere. I can't drive anywhere without seeing a Gladiator.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like them. I think they're a great car.
Yeah, they might have just dropped that price to get a bit out there in the market too, to get some interest happening.
Exactly right. Yeah, and hopefully keep it coming in the future. Because there was never talk of dropping the JL though, is it? Like the Wrangler?
No, just the Gladiator.
It was just the Gladiator. Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah,
we should look at an SSM for the Wrangler.
I tell you right now, if you had that, there would be an unlimited amount of capability in that car. It would be absolutely just because the only thing that I would say that's different with the Gladiator is just wheelbase. Yeah. They're 133-inch wheelbase.
Nowhere near the overhang over the arse.
Yeah. Like I think the wagon would be the ultimate capable off-road vehicle, Wrangler, wagon, whichever way you want to look at it, would be the ultimate off-the-shelf off-road car. Would be unreal with all the gearing in that 37s. It would be absolutely unreal. Oh, it is. Like I went in Jeff's from doing it in the dirt. His one with it's got the same long arm kit as our SSM in it, and man, the traction that thing has off-road is unreal. It's very, very cool car.
Yeah, well, you're a bit slim pickings these days for anything live axle, coil sprung, and dedicated to off-road work.
It's Granadier, isn't it? I think
Granadier,
like that. You got the Cruiser, and then we got our Jeep. It's only a 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you still got the leafs in the Cruiser. Yep. So trying to get a true all-round coil sprung vehicle.
You got a Jeep. A Jeep
or G-Wagon.
Or we did see the other day, it caused a bit of a stir, the new Tank 300. What was it called? It's named after a Chinese full drive park, which I thought was pretty cool. The Chinese most premier full drive park, they named the car after it. The Tank 300 with the twin turbo V8 in it.
Oh, that hybrid one
so
that's
that
coming
looked
out.
to have Dana 44 side axle front end in it, coil sprung, 5-link front end like a Jeep, with everything. Designed to be their off-road model. And then it had that, the hybrid. It was a plug-in hybrid twin turbo 4-litre V8.
Yep. Making good power.
Yeah,
good power.
It was between the two.
I don't think they've released the actual figures yet, but I believe it was somewhere, let's call it 5 to 550, I think, on the petrol engine, and then another 400 odd on the.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was pushing 1,000 between the two
which
motors.
Which is about right for a street car.
Yeah,
It should be around 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. What's wrong with yours then?
It's broken.
But yeah, no, that's like, would be pretty cool, but again, you come back to where everyone gets a bit nervous in other like Chinese manufactured cars is like, that's a lot of horsepower to be putting through a Dana 44. The CV spinner of all.
Quite heavily electronically controlled.
Yeah.
So I dare say you're probably not delivering that sort of power together.
Yeah, that's very true.
There'll be a lot of torque limiters and everything in there to make everything survive.
Drive-by-wire might be a pretty slow reaction. When you bury your foot in the pedal,
it slowly ramps up.
Until you spend $5,000 on the the update.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Update
then
the...
10% quicker.
Yeah, turn the friggin' boost actuators off, the wastegates off 1 PSI and let them open up a bit later.
We know a few tricks to make them go.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of new cars. Even the Chinese are starting to step into... not the heavy truck category, the NB1 or your sort of 1500 truck category. We've seen a few of those doing the research for this episode. Yeah, they're the GWM Cannon King Kong, I believe it is.
Which has the best name of any car on the market at the moment.
But yeah, it looked to be a Cannon in the 4.5 ton GVM space. Weird thing is, it looked to have the exact same driveline and the same vehicle.
Was it under 4.5 or over?
No, it was like 4,495.
Yeah, okay. So they've kept it.
They've kept it in your NB1 for your car license. But it literally looks to me as an extended chassis, extended tub version of the exact same car, which can go different ways when you're adding that much extra GVM, which I think their standard GVM now is about 3.3, is roughly around there. So going up to a big in the same category vehicle is a little bit awkward, and it's...
We're not going to know how these cars are going to go for a few years on the market.
I think
some will be successful and some will be flops.
Yeah, that 100%. And that's what another thing that brings you into another car that's gone up to that 4.5 ton GVM and 4.5 ton tow is the Ranger Super Duty. It looks, from the outside, it looks like an awesome looking car. 8 stud wheels. It looks to have stepped up to in the rear end.
It'd just be it's just sort of a nicer version of your Ford.
Yeah, it's your range. It is
150, 250 kind of area, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's definitely smaller. So it's the same size, wheelbase as the standard next gen Ranger that's out now.
Yeah.
It just is wider. Looks to have gone in the rear.
You reckon wider than a
Ranger? No, it'd be about the same as a Raptor.
Yep.
Because they've gone to, looks to be the Sterling 10.5 diff out of your F250 rear diff, and then it's gone to 8 stud in the front, 8 stud all round, to obviously deal with carrying capacity. But then they've got the same motor, same gearbox as the current model, which people have said there's been a lot of issues with that. The V6 diesel and the 10-speed auto, there's been a few. I don't think there's been issues with the auto. There's definitely been issues with the motor. So then again, adding way more capacity on top of it, how's it going to keep up with everyday towing of 4.5 ton if you're towing your excavator to work or whatever it is with that same engine? It's just how is it going to compare to an F250 Super Duty that's obviously running, what are they, 6.7 power stroke, I think they still run. It's a big motor that's suited to a lot of weight, where you're running still a very small motor, 3 litre, 2 extra weight. It may not work out.
Because then you're also going to have the aftermarket world's going to push it further as well.
Exactly right. Yeah, there's everyone.
GVM pushing further GVM grades on them, and there's companies doing the GCM now and that sort of stuff. So it'll be interesting how far they push them. Yeah,
that's exactly right. I'm very interested to see what will happen if, like that, because you go then jump up into NB2 where you've got to have logbooks, truck license, everything like that. Very interested to see how quick that comes to the market, to see if people really do want to push that with the Ranger. Because I think the Ranger will be a big seller. It looks like a very cool car.
Yeah.
But very interested to see what comes with the aftermarket. With obviously we'll look at lifts and that sort of thing. Hopefully suspension-wise hasn't changed too much from the current setup. It's just changed driveline. But very interested to see what happens with GVMs, GCMs.
Toyota coming out, say 26 sort of thing. What's coming into Australia?
So Toyota have got the new...
You've still got your normal Land Cruisers coming in.
Yep, so normal Land Cruisers. So then the new Hilux is coming in, reading up. Looks to be the exact same chassis as your 300 and the Tundra. Obviously shorter version, but same rails, everything like that. So it'll go to your more 300 style
That'll
shocks.
Be nice, because the 300 suspension package, overall, is so much better than the previous 200.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They just put more wheel travel into it and everything, and the thing is just a better setup.
Yeah,
they're just so much nicer to drive.
Yeah, so I believe the front end will be exactly the same as a 300.
So that'll be a big improvement over the Hilux.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's which I haven't really looked under it personally when we've had them in, but we've got our own GR Sport, but they're a 300 series lower, kind of, aren't they? They're very, very similar.
I know. Yeah, I'd have to be careful what I say because I'm not 100% sure, but there was definitely some changes from the previous Hilux.
Yeah, going into that wider and that sort of thing. So it'll be very similar to the front end.
The shocks and all that were all different when we did them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But the new Hilux, I think they said 2026 release, which is usually end of
sort
2025.
Because we were sort of looking at it the other day, and it's
Yeah,
not a thing you can't 100% tell.
Yeah,
what's happening.
they're pretty consistent with their 10-year run. That sort of
exactly.
Stuff. So 05 to 15 for the N70 to N80 shape, and then so on and so forth. So they're due for an update. So I expect it'll be next year.
Yeah.
I'd say they'll probably release a bit more later this year, and then start doing whether they're going to do pre-orders or whatnot. Like they're trying to do with the Kia.
What's the go? While you mentioned Kia, that Tasman.
Yeah, it looks like they've had a few little updates in it. It's
still
still
ugly.
Oh, it's horrible looking.
It's better.
It's so bad.
I don't know what the class is better as, but like you're talking.
Well, it looks like they painted its
like you.
shoulder pads that it was wearing for some bizarre reason.
It looks like that. What does it look like? Chewed up dog food instead of spewed up dog food. It's fucking horrible.
It's interesting. Like they
A lot of hype for something that looks so terrible.
Yeah. I think they were pushing for something a bit extreme for a bit of wow factor, but they sort of
They did that, but it was the wrong wow.
Yeah, it was more of a wall than a wow.
Oh, great.
Well, the pics they've got out now, it doesn't look too bad.
Is it legit?
I'm not rushing out to buy one, but
no.
I can see there will be people buying them. And being a Kia platform, it's going to be reliable. It's going to do everything you want it to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sure, like a lot of new models that come out and everyone goes, that's gross. As soon as they get some wheels on them and a roof rack and
Well,
a
you look
light
at the
bar.
70 series, like when we first seen pictures of that, we all thought,
Yeah.
fuck that, that's gross.
Yeah.
But you're going to put a bar on it and you put some lights and big tyres and lift and they look quite nice.
With I love our SSMs because they look so big, like the front end of them being so square, it makes them look way taller. I think the 70s now look really, really good.
They do.
But the Tasman's it's pushing shit uphill to look that good.
Whether or not there might be some flare manufacturers might do better flares for them too. You just don't know where it'll go.
Well, they're a box, aren't they?
Yeah, they're actually storage boxes, those things.
Are they?
Yeah, which I didn't realise.
Yeah, so it's going to be an expensive flare.
Yeah. They once now they're colour coded, they do look better. I'm sure the base model there'll still be that raw plastic finish, but the photos that are getting around at the moment, like it's not a bad looking car. Like there's definitely some uglier ducklings out there.
Yeah, there was that. It wasn't a render. It was a concept. It was like a military concept of the Kia Tasman. Remember the one Sam sent us? It was Sandy Torp.
We did.
Oh no, that was an actual vehicle.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it was an actual
one of the big shows.
That's what we thought was coming out. We thought, but
it was like a military mock-up kind of thing that they did with it, and it was a really, really cool looking version of it. But like they're going to need to sell that instead of the one that we've all seen.
Numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Once they sort the looks thing out, which they will. The aftermarket industry will sort some looks side of things out, and it's going to drive well. It's going to do everything you expect
that's
the Kia
exactly
to do.
right. Its platform. What did they say? It's bigger than a Ranger, but not as big as like an F-150. It's in between. So if it's a bigger car, it's going to be extremely comfortable. If it's it's going to have a lot of room inside and that sort of thing, it's going to be a big interior. So that'll be a big selling point, especially for your fleet. Like fleet and everything like that, where they're going to sell 20 to a mine site that drive around all day. They're probably going to like it.
Yeah, well, I think Ford's big deal is with the new Ranger, Super Duty Rangers. I think they're trying to pump as much as they can into that market.
Yeah, well, there's the two versions, so you can get the Ranger with like your tub and everything like that. That's like that green one that we've seen that looks really cool.
Yep.
And then they do your factory, essentially like tradie spec.
Like a cab chassis.
Yeah, exactly. Cab that's just plain wheels, like steel wheels, bull bar, steel tray, no fancy features like heated seats and that sort of thing. It's just like super basic for the mines, that sort of thing.
Put some reflective tape on it and put it underground.
Yeah, exactly right, Yep. Just them to roll over underground at speed limited to 40k an hour. Turn cars upside down. But there's a lot of new cars, a lot of Chinese. So there's some horrible looking Chinese cars coming out. The Chery. I can't remember what they called the Chery, but it
sounds bad.
Yeah,
Chery.
But it looked horrible. It looked like
was it a ute?
It's a ute. So there's virtually a lot of utes coming out of China. It looked like remember the first Great Walls that came out and they had that really long cone looking front. They looked horrible. It looks like a 2025 version of that. And it was plug-in hybrid, which I think most of the cars coming out of China are all plug-in hybrids. Same with Hyundai, it's a plug-in hybrid.
Was it you was telling me about in China with the electric cars where you pull up, in areas you pull up your car if the battery's nearly dead.
Oh, you get a swap and go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
swap and go. Like,
So
Australia's a long way from
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the manufacturers, I believe it was the luxury car version under Yangwang, which Yangwang owns, BYD, everything like that. It was their super luxury version. What it is they're going to have their own service stations. So you essentially pull your car in the center console. It has VR goggles that you can just put on, and you search up Netflix or whatever you want. And or obviously Chinese version, because they probably don't have anything from America there. It's 7 minutes, and the servo comes underneath your car, unbolts your battery, takes it away to put it on charge, bolts one in, and it's complete new battery bolted into the car, driving out in 7 minutes. And that's what you've got, your little goggles to sit there and not be bored, that come literally up out of the center console, watch your show for 7 minutes, and then drive on down the highway again.
It's interesting to see whether you're going to pick up someone's dodgy battery. Because I know when I use a swap and go, I always take the bottles that are out of date.
Usually how you bowl
Best
up
way to
whilst
do
you're
it,
having a barbecue.
Nice new one back. Thank you. Now I'll go to BCF and get that filled all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's the best way to do it.
I think you'd have to. You can't guarantee you're always going to get a perfect battery.
No, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, like they've jerry-rigged it to charge it at home for something, and they've burnt half a cell out, or however a lithium battery works.
3K down the road. Stop.
Yeah, your car lights on fire.
I noticed they do it as well for scooters over there as well.
Yeah,
you rock up to what looks like a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And you just...
There's a locker. Essentially, you just
Swap the
scan your
scooter
card
battery out.
and just, pop. Same with, there's one city there that runs, so all of the garbage trucks for that city, they're all 100% electric. They drive down the highway or they come back to the yard at the end of the day, and it's 2 minutes. The crane comes in, pulls, and the battery pack would be 4 tonne.
Massive, yeah.
Yeah, and the crane comes in, lifts the battery pack out, puts a new one in, 2 minutes, the truck's ready to go for another day of work. They had, the video I saw, they had a lineup of 100 trucks, all lined up that are all just 100% electric, full, and I'm talking like, same size truck as our tow truck, like a, what is it, 18 tonne or something? Like it's...
when it's got load, when it's loaded.
Yeah, sorry, GVM, yeah, like
right
big,
behind the
big
cab,
truck,
big
right
battery
behind
pack.
the cab, probably 2 to 3 tonne battery pack, 2
crazy.
minutes. Like it's...
I don't know how it's going to, I think it's, my personal opinion, I think it's a bit of a waste of time in Australia, electric stuff. It's probably, in the city, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
If you're in the middle of a city somewhere, but you start getting out a little bit out past Toowoomba or somewhere like that.
It's never
I think it's a joke.
Yeah, no, it's exactly, some people have seen videos going around that there's EV charging stations that are a diesel generator. It's just why bother?
We're too big of a country with too vast of a population.
Yeah.
That's just,
what happens with the hydrogen,
yes.
I would never own an electric car myself. I just dead set against it. I just think they're a piss take.
Yep.
But if the hydrogen come in a car, I reckon I would probably buy a hydrogen car.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
There was one of the mobs, I think it was Hyundai maybe, they have a hydrogen truck in America. So it's a 180 kilogram tank, because they base hydrogen off kilograms, not litres. And it did 1,800 miles on one tank.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And all it produces is water.
That's what I mean, that's just so much better. If they can master that, it's so much better than electric.
Yeah, that's what they said, this truck. And it was, 180 litre tank. I don't know how that works in hydrogen world, if it's a massive big tank or whatever it may be. But it's like 2,300 kilometres or something range on one tank is surely doing that, all of these manufacturers have to go that.
I would think for countries like Australia, once they start getting it to the point they can release a reliable system, I think that's where more people will steer. Because you can see electric cars have slowed down. You look a year or two ago and the Teslas were popping up everywhere on the road. Now they've slowed right down. You're not seeing that many on the road now. So I think
BYDs
just sales
as well.
have slowed.
Yeah.
BYDs, you cannot go anywhere. We probably saw 20 on the drive here.
Yeah, I think they've taken a lot of that Tesla market off.
Yeah,
Are
that's
they
exactly
hybrid
right.
or are they?
They're fully electric,
Are they?
a lot of your street cars are fully electric. I think I just broke
That
the
might be
chair.
why I haven't
Apart from
noticed
the
so
Shark.
many Teslas on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's buying, seems to be buying a lot of BYD at the moment.
Because we had a game, me and the kids, spot the Tesla. And I used to say, spot the shit box. But yeah, there's not as many now to spot.
Yeah.
So looking for BYDs.
Don't quote me on this because I've never owned a Tesla, but apparently the build quality's not that crash hot either.
No, you have a look. You just look in the window of them and they look pretty shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've never really paid attention. Like I've seen a lot of people get done for keying them because they've got the cameras on them that record anyone that walks near them. So it seems people get done for keying them. But yeah, like I've never really paid much attention to Teslas. It's just another electric car. Didn't really worry me. It's owned by Elon and he's crazy. So.
I follow a few of the groups on Facebook with the Tesla owners group, and a lot of it's like, I just picked up my new Tesla and, is the door supposed to shut properly? And like they'll post photos and like the body lines are all on the piss and you're like, wow.
Like when you've done a bonnet swap on a GQ.
Yeah.
Shut the bottom, like, what the hell? What here? That's shocking for an $80,000 car. I don't think probably more than that.
I don't even know how much they are. Yeah. But yeah, they, a lot of complaints.
Yeah.
Probably not as many as blown up range of gearboxes, but there's a few complaints with the build quality of the Tesla.
I also know that like the servicing on them is all done by like computer. Like one of my wife's work friends had one, and he said he's just like, when it's my service interval, they send me an email.
No, there's not much. Think of it. There's not much.
Yeah, there's not really anything to
say. But what about wheel bearings and that?
Even when you start looking at things like diffs and gearboxes and all that sort of stuff, like what is there to service?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like wheel bearings, that like how often do they bring them in to get a wheel bearing checked?
I don't know anything about them. I've never owned a Tesla, but I would think they'll be a sealed unit that is just a throwaway item once they're worn out. Like that'd be. I would think that'd be all pretty simple.
Yeah. It's but yeah, they're.
I don't think they'd be doing them like the old full drives and cars that you repack them and reuse them. But that's the sad thing. Like you look at old cars and they last. There's cars out there like my Tirana. What's it? Built in '74. Still driving. They ain't going to be an electric car in another 40 years still driving.
No, that's exactly right.
They're all going to be in the bin.
And there's going to be all
sad for the environment.
Lithium in the stuck in storage sheds, like cooking away and melting into the ground. Like it's
I don't think the countries importing the cars are really going to care about any of that.
No.
Yeah. No, that's the hardest thing, and like everyone's like, oh, recycle. You just recycle the battery. Like the amount of money that goes into recycling.
Yeah, but that's fine saying that now. But in another 10 years' time, when you've got a third of the population with electric cars, that's a lot of batteries.
No, that's what I'm getting at. Is like recycle, like the amount of money that would have to cost to go into recycling that batteries. Is it going to come down to the fact that it's still worth it to remanufacture? If everything goes hydrogen, is it really going to matter if you're recycling lithium batteries? Are they going to want to spend the money?
It'll be a bit scary in Australia for this. Say hydrogen does come in, so they do master it, and it's all good. That'll be a bit scary for people with electric cars because the infrastructure is going to be half-assed done.
Yeah.
And then if people start steering towards hydrogen, and you've got an electric car, and now Ampol or whatever the companies are putting all these stations in, these charge stations, start losing interest in that because now 90% of it's gone to hydrogen.
Yeah.
A bit of a worry that you wouldn't know how it's going to pan out.
Yeah. No, that's
even
exactly right.
the electrical grid can keep up.
Yeah.
I know they were having big issues in California. They're telling people not to charge their electric cars overnight just because trying to stop all the rolling blackouts going on.
Too much drop. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Especially in a place like California where every single person wants a Cybertruck or every single person wants to be liberal and...
Yeah, imagine having to ring your work the next day. I can't come in because my car's flat.
That'll be a perfect excuse for everyone.
The government told me I wasn't allowed to charge my car.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. I mean, I'm all for 3-day weeks, but...
No, he's got to pull out that diesel Jenny.
Yeah, exactly. Fire her up and get her charging. But like,
diesel Jenny's running in the morning.
Yeah, it'll be part of your work package now.
3 in the morning, they all fire them up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That is another silly thing to look at. Is like that's what always makes me laugh. Is they're like running diesel generators to charge electric cars. It's like there's no environmental help. And like it's the same thing with like you look at solar power. Everyone says solar power is not that environmentally friendly because in 25 years the solar panels are all gone and throw them in the bin. So they all go into landfill. So everyone's just like, well, it doesn't.
They still talk about recycling them, but you don't. I can't see they're going to recycle 100% of all the panels and shit. I think it's going to be a mess somewhere.
Like look at there was one of the big companies in America. They figured out a way how to recycle your wind turbines, when they fall down.
Yeah, because weren't they dumping?
So they were dumping them. So now what they've worked out is, you don't dump it, you shred it and burn it.
Oh, yeah.
To make concrete. It's just like, what? It's neither or is a good thing.
So someone's worked out another way to make money.
Yeah, that's exactly to save money. Yeah, because that's what it was. One of the big concrete companies in America have worked out that they can use that to burn.
So they're just using that as like a filler.
Yeah, instead of cutting more trees down or something. So, but that's the thing. Like that's what I thought. If you could recycle it with concrete, like wouldn't you use it as a filler part of concrete or something like that? But no, we'll just burn it and just to make concrete powder. Like it just.
So what else we got for other cars? Because I'm not really up to date with a lot of these new cars like you guys are. What's some other ones you know?
The Ineos is a big thing. We've seen that cool Ineos the other day. Ineos in England have worked with one of the German portal manufacturers. They may be bringing out from factory what is it, the Quatermaster, the dual cab?
Yeah.
On portals. I don't know if it was, I think it might have been Wolf. They look like a Wolf portal to me.
It'd be interesting, like from an OE standpoint, how that'll last the test of time, portals. Yeah. Because you think of like OE cars just do a lot of kilometres.
Yeah.
And when you're running a portal and you're in a small little gearbox, is not a great, like they'd have to have some way to efficiently keep them cool for an OE level car.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting what they do.
But yeah, it looked cool. Like it was like the typical like portals, 37s, all the stuff. And then they had like
popular if they bring that out.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. It will be massively popular.
Not that I like those sorts of pommy looking sort of cars, but like I think a lot of people buy it just purely for the big tyres and portals.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and that was the thing, is that's what everyone said in the comments, because it was Ineos that actually posted it.
Yeah.
They said like, we've worked with, it was in German, so I can't speak Deutsch, but they said like, we worked alongside these guys to design this thing, and it was everything. When's it coming to Australia? When's it coming to Australia? But again, the Ineos has a lot of internet talk about it, but you just don't see them.
Yeah.
What's the price point on them?
I actually haven't looked at the price point of an Ineos, and I definitely should have. I think they're about the 85 mark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really should have. I haven't looked at them. They have a lot of good stuff in them.
Cheaper than a Defender, and they don't leak oil.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well,
So
you're only guessing they don't leak.
yeah.
Well, I think there are a lot of Jeep parts in them.
No Jeep. So they're
They were pretty much just the straight copper. I didn't think they really changed much.
They're a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, they are. They're a really mixed bag. So they're BMW.
One of our producers has just let me know that the Ineos Granadier is very expensive. Base model $104,000 plus all the money you've got to give the government to drive one on the road.
So that's probably why not too many people own them. But
you may not have to pay for updates.
Yeah,
but that's just get the car as the car isn't. It might actually work.
They are. So they're an M57 3-litre diesel from BMW, which everyone is putting in patrols at the moment. They're a very, very high horsepower motor, or you can make high horsepower out of them. The BMW ZF 8-speed auto.
Yeah, that's what was in mine, isn't it?
Yeah, that was what was in the Cruiser, so that's another gearbox that everyone wants. Getting popular across all forms of motorsport as well, the 8-speed, from drifting, winch trucks, Ultra 4s. Yeah. They run an Italian-made diff, so it's a Dana 44-ish centre. The same sort of thing, they're like cast housing, everything like that. But then instead of running the junk ball joint knuckles and everything like that, they actually run a kingpin knuckle. It's very, very big, like a sort of Dana 60. So the axles are decent. They're Italian made, but European driveline in them. And then I think they are built in Italy, if I recall. I think they're built in Italy, but then they've got the dual cab and the wagon. They look like an airplane or a helicopter inside them. All the instruments are up on the roof and everything like that.
So potentially they, out of the current cars being built OE at the moment, they're potentially the best off-road.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of the factory.
Well, they come about by one disgruntled, very rich gentleman who couldn't buy a Defender anymore. So he decided to make his own
I don't know the exact
Defenderish
story,
car.
Yeah, and he went to Land Rover and said, if you're not going to make them, can I buy the design and make it? And they said no. So let's design my own then.
I'll just change a couple of little things and away we go.
Get rid of the leaky bits that everyone hates. And
just need someone rich enough to Track the shits that Nissan don't want to make a GQ anymore.
Yeah.
You can all get brand new
I
shit
don't know if
boxes
it's
again.
current right at the moment, but the last couple of years ago, you could still buy a GU brand new.
Yeah.
Over in
You still
I
can.
believe you still can.
Still can.
Still making them.
Still can. So 4.8,
Yeah.
you can get them in manual or auto, 4.8 utes, wagons, everything. I believe, like I looked at this the other day trying to work out if the Arabic nations, I think like the UAE and that, actually had a stake in Nissan. Like I thought they bought into it. They may have invested something and virtually kept that production line, but it doesn't appear to be that they actually own any part of Nissan. They may just pay for that whole production line or whatever it is. But yeah, they can still buy 2025 model GU 4.8. They only come in a 4.8. But that's the thing is, like where you look at Toyota, it would have been amazing if Nissan realised this back in 2016. Like the 79, they had to change all the emissions and all that sort of stuff. But then they just went, oh, we'll just give it a 3.5 ton GVM. Now it's a light truck and we don't have to meet anything.
Yeah, they push it up the next class to
to
make
avoid
it a bit easier.
Yeah, so like I wish Nissan did that 10 years ago and found out.
The problem is you think go back in time to a GU, how many problems with the chassis?
That's exactly right. You can't do it.
They would have had to redesign the chassis. Well, not redesign the chassis, but just do a better job of the chassis.
Yeah, exactly
to
right.
actually handle that.
Yeah, handle the load.
Which at the end of the day, we know you just simple braces.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
correct that.
Yeah, that's definitely
But
could have been fixed. Yeah, definitely is a big shame.
That's what slowed Nissan down.
Yeah, 100%. Because imagine if they release a TD42 GU next week. That would sell 1 million of. They'd have to be lined up for the next 2 years of money getting delivered. But unfortunately, that's just I think that boat sailed, and it's IFS, IRS, hydraulics, and a GTR motor.
Yeah, well, mind you, the Series 562 is popular.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of those on the road.
At Outlaws, me and Cam went for a walk through camp, and everyone had a Y62. Like there were so many of them, and they look cool. Like especially that blue color they make in them, they look awesome. But everyone's making
probably
bar
not
work
bad towing, like as a tow vehicle.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
Be comfortable.
Oh,
and carry all the kids around and
Yeah.
do everything. It's got a V8 in it still, V8 petrol, which is
Probably half the reason it kept so popular.
I'd say so.
The 300 went to a V6.
Well, you look at the V8's dropped from the set. You can still get some of them, but the 79's dropping the V8. And you look now, like not many people buying 4-cylinder ones.
No, that's exactly right. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with the 4-cylinder.
I drive one. It's reasonable.
But yeah,
It goes just stock standard, like to a stock standard V8. The 4-cylinder's quicker.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
But you go and do some work to the V8 and you flog the 4-cylinder.
yeah, it's exactly
I think
right.
if you go and do some work to the 4-cylinder, you're probably going to end up blowing it up at some point.
Yeah,
It's,
it helps you be used to slow cars too.
what's that?
Your current lineup of vehicles.
Yeah.
The 4-cylinder 79 is probably your fastest one.
Oh, it's most reliable.
yeah. I was going to say it's the only one that turns on and drives.
Well, I was going to put a barra in that Tirana. That'd be really bad.
Oh, God.
Don't do that. You're going to have Holden people trying to burn your house
You'd
down.
get fucking shot, wouldn't you?
Been hanging out with
Probably
Chris
hang
too much.
yourself.
He's been hanging around Chris too much.
Yeah. All right. Can you think of any cars that you've seen on the road? I've never seen anything with Chery yet, eh?
Yeah, it come up because I was looking at it this morning. It came up. It's a fucking woeful looking thing. It literally looks like they've put a new trim package on one of those really early.
Is it just in China, or are they bringing it in to the country?
It's in China currently.
They must be getting some sort of good tax incentives or something, because they seem to be all pushing to Australia.
Yeah, it's yeah.
With those,
Oh, no, actually it's 26.
you guys were talking about, I was speaking to these, this is a couple months ago, these scientific investigators for the fire department, and they were talking about home batteries and car batteries and electric cars and stuff, and they hate them. Yeah, they absolutely hate them.
You can't put them out.
Yeah, you can't put them out. As soon as they start fire, that's it. They're gone. Like, you can't stop them.
What happens in I don't know jack shit about electric cars. I don't really want to know that much about them, but I wonder what happens if you're an electric car, you have a crash, your battery shorts out, your shitbox catches on fire, the fucking doors unlock, the windows go down.
That happened fairly recently.
Or do you
in the
just cook like a
States,
chicken?
It was a Tesla, I think. They just burnt to death.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was late last year, I think it was.
The fire department's answer is they have to get
just let it burn out.
Yeah, you've got to burn
Yeah.
it out. So
You're literally going to just waste water spraying.
Yeah, I did read an article in I don't know what it was, online newspaper or something, and it was a fire department in California, and that's basically what they said. Just fucking let it burn.
It's
pretty sad.
about like ripping out garages and like skull dragging electric cars out of places that may have ignited instead of letting the house burn down. But as soon as it's the same as house batteries, it's like you've got one attached to your house and it won't stop burning if it goes through. Just feels super dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know how the OE companies haven't got more, like, I wouldn't say care, but more onus on, like, really they should be putting more time and money into
It should have a
making them
cutoff.
safe.
Yeah, it should have a power intake cutoff. Like, I remember remote control cars in the early 2000s, you charge them for too long, the battery just go...
I think it's once, and I'm only guessing here, I think it would be just once the battery starts on fire, there's no putting it out, so it wouldn't matter isolating it or whatever.
No, they need a cutoff of like charging. So it gets to a certain, instead of overcharging and just getting hot and fucking catching light, they just get to a point where, say, it's 98% full and they just go burk and just
Well,
cut
that's
off.
probably one part of it, but your second part will be things like crashes and that sort of stuff.
As soon as that's breached and it's the reaction.
Well, I know one of BYD's big things at the moment of their promo was someone literally stabbing the batteries.
Oh, I've seen that.
in those
Yeah, I did
cars.
see that.
And not only did they
Some
not
new
catch
battery-
on fire, they still work,
Yeah.
which is pretty
There's some new
impressive.
type of battery cell, I think that was.
Yeah, it's same with Optima. Optima did a recently that they shoot one of their batteries and put it in a
Optima,
car.
as in like in my race car battery, they're shit.
Yeah, they shoot it with a gun.
They used to be so good, Optimas. Now,
Yeah.
like I've gone through probably 3 or 4 of them in the space of probably 2 years.
It's probably because your car's never on and driving.
Oh, easy Tiger.
He's got a good point.
It could be. But no, I had an Optima battery 2012 and it was like 10 years
we
old.
still filming?
Still beautiful.
Oh, okay.
New ones now. Not as good.
Yeah, okay.
I won't say shit.
Yeah, batteries do work better when you're charging them.
Yeah.
All right, you pick on me. I'm still sticking to the rubbish. But anyway.
But yeah,
I don't know if you guys want to start it again.
Yeah,
we're actually like Thomas when we had a break. I was talking.
I wouldn't worry about it. Just keep it,
I wouldn't,
keep
wouldn't
going.
worry about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
You guys got to cut it in and make it look good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a you problem to me.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Whoa.
How many takes do I do?
None. One.
Start this podcast again.
Hang on. Pub, look, is it 10 yet? Pub's open.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice is the Navara next year is going to be hybrid, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
we've
looked
had,
like crap too.
I haven't actually seen any photos of it yet.
It was a render that I saw, but it looked woeful.
what's the sort of, what do they sort of base it on, sort of thing?
It looked to be just another MP300.
Yeah.
Like just the trim and the design of the body, and that looked absolutely shocking.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully it stays coil rear because that was the popularity of the
I
Navara.
don't think they'll go. But I know they had a leaf and a coil option, but I don't think they would go back to solely leaf.
Yeah.
I think that'd shoot. Although Nissan has made some dumb choices over the years.
Yeah, they've shot themselves in the foot multiple times.
You would hope they wouldn't, because it is a big selling point.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why
Yeah.
you buy it.
Interesting to see what it does look like. I probably wouldn't take too much of the rendering on board because
Yeah.
the original rendering of the Tasman, some of those looked amazing, and then that thing popped out. So yeah,
True.
could look like anything when it arrives, but
Yeah.
I don't see him. Maybe they might put a new grill in
Maybe
it or
they're
something
the
like
Jaguar
that.
marketing team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how you get your business burnt to the ground in one click post.
It was amazing how they did. They did it in 29 days. If you follow from the first post to the when they disappeared off the market on the 21st, I think it was, of December.
Yeah, it was like
Last-
20th to the 21st. Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably got paid $1 million for that too.
Oh, it would have been way more than that. Way more than that.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Very well done. Like it's to destroy a business that big with that much heritage in 30 days.
Yeah.
You're experienced.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of push into that electric hybrid, and a lot of them are plug-in hybrid. They're not like a hybrid that takes over. Like everyone hated on the Prius, now everyone looks back to the Prius like, hey, it ain't that bad. It's like because they sort of kicked in and out. But yeah, now everything's plug-in hybrid, mainly running off electric.
I can understand the hybrid sort of stuff, just not so much full electric.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to go somewhere, particularly if they keep tightening down on emissions laws or Euro laws that you've got to meet every X amount of years, then have to comply with it.
I think they're kidding
There's
themselves.
no other
they
way you
think
can
we're gonna
really get the mileage out of them.
Yeah, I think they're kidding themselves. They think you're going to get the net zero.
No. Oh, well, what I watched the other day, there's a dude, this is getting into way too conspiracy theorist. There's a dude who was talking about Australian trees versus the carbon we output out here. We're already in the negatives, and that's not including mangroves, that mangroves suck in 3 times the amount of carbon a year than a normal tree. So it's like we're well into the negatives. So what's the net zero mean?
By that time of night, mate, just go to bed. Just turn it off. Turn it off.
Get off TikTok.
We'll just go and start the Tirana up. Put some emissions out there.
As in my LSGQ sitting in the shed just bellowing black smoke out of it.
Like waking your wife up. Love, listen to this. There's mangroves.
This is so true.
I didn't know where to go with that one.
Oh, God.
All right.
But yeah, there is a lot of new cars coming in. For us, unfortunately, a lot of them are going to get harder to modify. They're just going to get more and more locked down.
Well, it's the BYD. Is that the one that's IRS? I think it was.
Yeah, it's
IRS.
IRS.
Like I had to look at a photo, and I haven't seen one in real life, just a photo, but the angle of the axles on the back coming out the diff, like the CVs and that, look pretty fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like for a stock OE vehicle, like you put a 2-inch lift in one of those, they're probably going to be a bit average.
Yeah. But the mechanical side of thing, I think, is probably going to be the easy point moving forward with
The electronics.
stuff that Chris and Greg have to deal with, electronic side of things, particularly on the newer Toyotas, is
well,
it's
just
phenomenal.
your sign recognition and all that crap, everything ties into the speedo and all that, and just trying to work through that is a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
Never seen a bloke that lives on Skittles and Coke have a nervous breakdown by 9 a.m. So now I understand after seeing what he actually has to do.
Yeah. It's like, some of the
and
things.
It'll get to the point that it'll get locked down that bad from the OE manufacturers. You won't be able to modify anything.
Yeah.
So it'll eventually get to the point when, yes, you can do all the modifications to the vehicle, make it safer and better handling and all that, but then electronics will lock you out.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
And you won't be able to have the thing on the road.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think the electronic side of things is going to be the hardest part, and it's only going to get deeper and deeper into that sort of thing from OE manufacturers. Is the electronics? Everyone's looking for that nearest creature comfort where they put whatever apps and that on the head unit and talk about how good it is, but then on the other side of it, it just becomes a car that is just. It's going to get to a point where it is you get to drive your car and that's it. There's no.
I hate the electronics myself. All I need in a car is a radio.
Yep.
Lights, indicators.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't give a shit about anything else. Like I get an Amy's 300 and the fucking thing goes all over the road and fucking wants to control your steering and shit. You got to turn off the friggin' lane assist crap and the thing's beeping at you and telling you this and that. It's like, give me the fucking Tirana. Let's put the thing in drive and
at least
go.
it's swerving over the end of the road.
If it swerves on the road, it's my own fault.
Yeah.
It's not the computer telling me I shouldn't be driving that way because that white line's not correct there because the friggin' road.
Yeah, exactly.
The people doing the road things fucked that white line up, so the car's shot me off into the oncoming car.
I was driving the first time that happened to me. I thought the car broke. I thought, well, this is how it ends.
Oh, if you if you haven't driven one before without lane assist and that, and
freaks you out.
Yeah, you shoot yourself the first time.
The first time I drove the 300 around, I went to an open day at a full drive shop to have the 300 on display, and I figured out, because I had to put fuel in it and get a drink and that on the way, I figured out you just get in, turn it on, turn that off, 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 then I can drive the car.
Have you tried reversing the 300 if you don't turn off the reversing thing?
No.
Because it sees the trailer, fucking freaks out, you'll be reversing and smack, fucking thing just slams on the brakes.
Oh,
so you got to make sure you turn that fucking thing off.
Oh, God.
I'm not an electronics fan.
No,
Keep it simple.
It's the same with that, the Prado, the new Prado we'll drive around. I think they're a really nice car to drive, like as a stock standard car. They're really nice. The electronics.
So all the electronics turned off, they're great.
I put it in low range because I just wanted to drive it up onto a rocky thing just to get some photos of it, and put it in low range. And the dash, like it just beeps at you the whole time it's in low range. It's like ding, ding, what the hell? Like, why do I need to beep when I know I'm in low range? I'm trying to go slower. But yeah, just freaking out because it's like, oh, you going slow now. You need to know that you're in a dangerous situation. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, yesterday I went to reverse Amy's 300 and I had the door open. Me just being lazy. I'm only going like a metre back. Friggin' car doesn't let you do it.
Yeah.
It's actually not even let you drive. The door's open.
Well, hers doesn't, no.
Oh,
I don't know if that's
wow.
a standard thing you can turn off or whatever, but in reverse, no, it wouldn't let you go back. You had to close the door.
Wow. Yeah, they're getting ridiculous.
Yeah,
that one Chris is working on at the moment with that sign recognition. That's phenomenal, and he's been on that for weeks now. I think just about every single day he's working on that thing.
Yeah, is that the Ranger?
No, the GR Sport.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I did see him out there playing with it the other day.
Yeah, the stuff he's working on is.
That's probably all that's holding up the SSM, just some of the electronic stuff.
Yeah, and that's what, like, I guess from like some of our customers and listeners' standpoint, when we start talking about we're releasing an SSM and they come to us and go like, oh, you know, that car's been out for a year, why haven't you released an SSM for it? It's just like,
can be one simple thing that's held you up.
Exactly right, like especially with this electronic stuff. And yeah, like it could be, we've had it in the past, like the ABS sensors decide to just change the way the reluctor wheel, it reads it because it's got a bigger tyre on it. So it's 6 months of working in the electronics to make it realise that the rotating mass is bigger, but they're so locked out of it by the OE. So it just, and that's why SSMs are so limited. You can't, as a business, can't sit around and spend hundreds and thousands of hours per vehicle working at the electronics to be able to do aftermarket.
You see, like there's a lot of people out there pumping them out pretty fast, SSMs, but they're keeping tyres pretty much standard as OE tyres.
Yep.
So they don't have all these complications. It's once you go a larger tyre and lift it and then the radar's not seeing what it wants to see, and that's where all your headaches come in.
That's exactly right.
We don't, these new cars coming in, whether it be America, China, Europe, wherever, we don't know how they're going to go till you get one here and start playing with it and start seeing what the problems are. The computer
Well, you start working on trying to get a solution for that, but then you create another issue, like you work out the speedo correction it required, and all of a sudden the electric seats don't work. Like it's just, it's phenomenal the amount of electronics are inside them now.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of a headache for the guys doing the chops, like 300 chops and all that. Like I wouldn't like to get into that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no.
Just because you're removing airbags and that sort of stuff. Like it's sort of safety stuff I wouldn't want to get involved in.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like it's like all your new ranges, like you're picking up on like the sign stuff, like they're all like the headlights are tied into it. So as soon as you lift them up, like my old man's got the Wild Track Next Gen Ranger, and the headlights dim away when it picks up on another car's headlights and that sort of thing. Yeah. So like you lift it up, that radar's not going to work anymore, and then it's going to start freaking itself out and picking up on random things. Like there's just so much, it just gets tighter and tighter with every new vehicle, and every vehicle update that comes out, it's always going to get tighter. It's a
I think we just need to bring back the Y61.
Yep.
Fix it all up.
Yeah, we need a rich businessman that can't buy a GQ anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Well, you still can buy GQs, just not new ones.
Oh no, I want a brand new shitbox.
Brand new TI, ship over the TV42.
Yeah, with rusty gutters. Perfect.
But yeah, there's it's always a fun game with new cars.
Yeah, it's going to get harder and harder. It'll be in 10 years. It's going to be near impossible. That or there'll be that much invested into getting around this sort of stuff that the manufacturers are bringing out. It'll be a whole another industry on top of it.
Yeah, that's
like
exactly
there's
right.
no other way around it. Like at the moment, we've got a couple of guys working on some pretty full-on stuff, but that full-on stuff's going to turn into the bulk majority of the vehicle very shortly, particularly with everything going full electric.
Yeah.
There's no other way I can see it possibly
the
happening.
crazy thing there, you look at Toyota too, or your big original OE manufacturer, but we'll say Toyota, 10 years used to be for an update. And they do some mild little facelifts in that 10 years. Might be a grille change, headlight change, some of that. You look at them now at the level of the changes, like you're still using Hyla, Toyota, like you got your Rogues, your Rugged.
Yeah.
You got the new one coming out in 26. Like you've just got so many fast updates coming through and vehicle changes, and you look at ones coming in from China and all that, and they're not 10 years between those model changes.
No.
Everything's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. The problem is from a aftermarket manufacturer's point of view, it takes X amount of time to get a car, to design the parts, to get them made, to get them like out on the internet, all that sort of stuff, to actually sell them in shops, whatever. By the time you sort of half get through that, you've got another model come up its arse. So you're always now these days playing chase up with these new cars, and I don't think there's a company out there that would be staying right on top of all the different ones. And I think if they are at the moment, they're going to struggle. Like as each year goes by, and you get what'd you say now? You got Chinese companies like 50 or something.
There was
50 manufacturers or something.
No, there was. What was there?
Is that worldwide?
Oh, yeah, there was. Sam sent me a thing the other day. It was our general manager, Sam. That is. He sent me. It was something like there was 15 new vehicle manufacturers releasing cars into Australia in 2024.
Yeah, so it's just here. So then, you imagine another 10 years' time, you might be 30 manufacturers or something. And then you're going to be getting models thrown in, whatever, the rate Chinese make stuff, they're probably going to do a model change every 2 years or something. Who knows?
I think the more the manufacturers come in as well, the more competition there's going to be. So they're going to push each other to develop stuff further and faster.
Well, that's what it is. That's why when you look at years ago, Toyota, Ford, Nissan, you think there wasn't that much competition. They were probably half smart, and they probably thought, well, why push ourselves to the limit and constantly doing updates and changes? Do it 10 years. But I guess on the other side of it too, how much has things changed with things like SolidWorks and Banter, and just I don't know anything about OE software they use. Our engineers have all come, like some of the engineers that we use have all come from Holden and all that. It'll be very interesting how much the software has changed in the last 10 years. It's obviously a lot better, because obviously if you think of 20 years ago when a manufacturer made whatever, old Commodore or something, VN Commodore, to design that as to what they do today to design a car would be vastly different.
Oh, it'd be massively, like back then, like you think
robots and
HQ Holden, they probably made it with a hammer.
Well, they did
an English wheel.
Like one of the engineers, I had my Tirana there at work, and he said, I used to work on the production line putting them together. There wouldn't even be a production line like that. It would be all robots and everything, just put them together. Especially
there'd be a dude there that's virtually services the robots.
That would be it. Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast just the other day, and the guest they had on was talking about they develop chips. That's what one of his companies do.
As in like your computer chips.
Yeah. And they're that small. These chips, they develop them out of light and plasma. And one of the main things these chips are going to be used for was for the automotive industry.
Yeah,
so I can't even wrap my head around how that works.
I think Taiwan was primarily doing it, the chips and all that, from what I gathered, just from little bits I sort of looked at on the news.
It's going to be phenomenal. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, there's so much getting put into cars, like you just said, like from those old Holdens that literally like everything was mechanical. Like it had your steering wheel was connected all the way down to virtually the wheels. The accelerator had like a cable that ran.
That's the best thing. You can still fix them. You can keep them. Yes, they aren't real clean as far as emissions. But hey, I wonder how much emissions you go and use when you got to get rid of a whole car because it's now a piece of junk.
Yeah, because
it now sits in landfill because it's all plastic and crap.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like everything's went from being mechanical, and like half the cars we still work on with patrols and everything like that. Like everything is, you can fix it with a welder and a grinder. And now, like, imagine next week you got your Tesla and you turn it on and the battery overcharges and melts 7 wires in it. You're never going to find where that issue is. Your car just goes in the scrapyard and sits there.
Done.
Yeah.
All my computer chips out of light.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. You turn the black light on too early at night and it melts you.
Diesel Jenny was too overpowered and cooked it.
Yeah. But that's exactly right. Like, how does it come? And a lot of the laws in making cars stricter and all this safety stuff comes from trying to stop everyone's grandma
They don't want anyone touching it.
And it comes down to trying to stop everyone's grandma from crashing into daycare centres and that sort of thing. And
the problem is you're making everyone fucking stupid.
Yeah,
You're taking away the 20, 30, 40 years ago, people knew how to drive a car.
Yeah.
If you had to swerve, you swerved. You had to brake. Well,
show my age a little bit here, but back when they released the Series 1 VN, they had to tone it down a little bit for the Series 2 because too many old ladies were out doing burnouts at traffic lights.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Just got to make sure the blue and red lights aren't behind you when you do it.
Yeah.
Being in that
Oh,
situation.
you're allowed to do it back in those days. It's only expensive now if you do it.
Yeah. But yeah, they're certainly dumbing down the human race as far as being able to drive and handle a car successfully because everyone's just starting to rely on electronics.
Mind you, if you've watched any sort of form of TikTok for more than 30 seconds, you do need to dumb a lot of shit down. Like there's...
I haven't even got TikTok.
Yeah. This bloke, for example. Yeah, I wouldn't put him in a Series 1 VN and, you know...
No, but we'll blame that on he's been dumbed down from electronics. Yeah. Put him in that category.
Been chewing on lithium batteries. So
much.
Yeah. But yeah, and literally, it comes down to, like you said, people that know how to drive. ESC is like the worst thing ever. Because if you're on a dirt road and ESC kicks in and you try and correct yourself, you're going bush. Like it goes to where the wheels are pointing.
And I know I've talked about this in previous podcasts, the difference, like since we did the SSM, the very first one with that grey cruiser.
Yep.
Okay, we've had multiple 79s with SSMs. Toyota's changed the software because they handle different than the newer generations of cruisers. They're obviously tweaking the software in the ESC.
Yeah, okay.
The original one, you could, like if you broke traction, bang, you were done. It just limp moded until you backed off the throttle. Like, so if you're a set of lights and you go around, you go a bit fast, spin the wheel only the slightest bit, it would just, so dead in the water, no power. If you stayed with your foot buried in the throttle, which a normal person would because you've got to go forward and you've got a car coming at you, you still don't go anywhere. You actually had to back off the throttle, reapply the throttle, and then it would reset the ESC and it would drive forwards. Then we had the next model cruiser. It was nowhere near as bad. Okay, and then now if you go to the latest model, doesn't do it whatsoever.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly the same, everything's the same. Yet they've obviously fine-tuned that software more, whether it was from complaints or just some more years of testing at the facility. Who knows what the reason is, but huge difference now. Like I don't think my new cruiser's never gone limp mode.
Yeah, okay.
Lights, if you brake traction around a corner, light will come on, it'll flicker. Like there was one the other day, it flickered, I reckon, 600 metres down the road. ESC light just still flickering. And it wasn't until I backed off, it cleared it. And then but the difference is it doesn't put you in that dangerous position that the early 79 did.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah, so
I know the early
things are changing.
ESC, well, the early version of ESC they fitted to the Series 8.
Well, we had a GU, remember? At Deception Bay, were you there when we had a GU?
Yeah, they just tried to murder you.
Had a bit of a lift in it.
Yep.
It wasn't a stupid lift. It was just whatever it was, 2 or 3 inch lift or whatever. And it had limp mode going through a roundabout.
Yeah, okay, right.
As soon as the yaw rate sensor went a bit funny, just shut it down.
Yeah.
And yet we struggled a lot with that customer because he just thought we were idiots. But it was like, this is no different than other 4 million GUs on the road, but yours is just not playing the game. There is something wrong with it.
Yeah. Just in the computer system or one of the sensors just playing up a little bit. And
I think with the later 61s, they also had an issue with lifting them up with the infant adjustable drag link with the steering off centre, that a sensor in the column.
Clock spring
that would cause it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were horrendous. Like you just go around a corner and they'd carry on like you're trying to.
I'm sure they've saved someone somewhere, but I honestly truly believe they've probably had people crash too.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And that's what it would be. It's such a funny thing to look at that as like, it's designed for the people that, when something goes wrong, they just shit themselves and the car just comes straight and stops. It's for people that, this is a tiny thing that's gone wrong, I can just correct it and drive straight. Then it goes further wrong, like it just becomes a horrible situation of like, I know plenty of people that have driving down the road, like a dirt road especially, where there's no traction when the car hits the brakes, and they stand a little bit sideways and end up in the bush because the ESC's kicked in and just slammed the brakes on, or just slid straight in the bush. It's like, well,
I remember the first time when I bought a GU, that new GU, whatever, GU7 or whatever it was.
The white one?
White one. I remember the very first time I come in the driveway at Superior, gravel road, come in a bit hot, hit the brakes, just straight down through the ABS. Like they do that stupid...
shuttering, yep.
Friggin' shit myself. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But literally a simple thing. All I was doing was trying to pull up quick, and it has its fucking spastic attack, and it caused me more grief than what it was worth.
Yeah, well, what,
as bad as it sounds, I took the fuse out.
Yeah, I did the same.
With
My grey one.
Yep.
Yeah, I just took the ABS fuse out.
Absolute
dangerous
shitbox setup.
Yep.
It was like the Ranger, the Blue Ranger we had coming back from Cliffhanger. I came around a truck, and the wind, because we just had a box trailer on the back, the wind flicked the box trailer, just the wind off the truck. Same thing, ESC just went nuts. And me and Jason driving, we were like, what's wrong with it? Like, what? It was just making grinding noises. There was a big red light on the dash flash, and we were like, like we've broken this car.
And then it just doing Ranger stuff.
Yeah, and then it just went back to driving normal, and we both look at each other going like, did we just because we had no idea what was happening, but it was just because of the wind, just gave the trailer a bit of a flick and it pulled the car. It just lost its mind, and we both shit ourselves thinking we're crashing, but it was just slamming the brakes on in front of a 40-ton Mack truck. I was like, please don't stop. Keep going. But we thought we were going to crash because it just lost it. But same thing. The steering wheel straightened itself and it hit the brakes. We were like, okay, we're still doing 100. We'll just keep going.
Interesting. Like as these new cars keep coming in to the country and they keep doing more and more of this safety stuff, whether or not they get on top of it and actually make it better.
Yeah, make it actually work.
As they're learning it. Over the past years, they've been terrible at it, getting it right.
I can't see how they can't, well, I'm sure there's probably many reasons why they can't, but how it can't learn your driving style. Like, for someone obviously has a very different driving style or level of confidence and I guess the thing why would they have the same ESC system?
Yeah, I guess the thing that would catch you out is it knows you, and it probably works fantastic. But then Mitch gets in your car one day and goes for a run down the shop, and then it thinks you're driving it. That'd be the only.
Well, with the amount of facial recognition technology that's available now, there's got to be a way for them to know who's driving that car. It would be a lot better
because everyone's driving habits are different, and
I don't know if we should cut that out or patent that, because that sounds like it could be something in the future.
But it's true, because even gearboxes and that sort of thing, they now will learn how you drive and how you...
Well, that's been a thing for a very long time.
Yeah,
for a long time.
They'll learn how you accelerate.
Make an ESC system do the same thing is a bit surprising this day and age with all the other stuff they can do.
It's probably the matter of fact is they don't want to.
Yeah, they've probably got the technology. They're probably just waiting for the right time to release it.
It's the same with fully autonomous vehicles.
If they can make a car drive by itself, surely they can make a car
figure out
to how the person operating it wants it to operate.
But that's the thing that even Elon Musk released saying why they haven't gone to completely autonomous vehicles and that sort of thing is because he's like, I don't think the human race is ready for it.
I'm not. I don't want it. I don't want to be driving next to someone on the freeway that's going to sleep.
Asleep, exactly.
And we're working on the theory that computer's not going to have a hissy fit that
exactly.
day.
Car gets struck by lightning and just goes haywire. Just driving around the doors open and throws you out.
There's a few videos kicking around of those.
Computer and fried itself.
There's a few videos kicking around of those. There must be a car park area where those autonomous taxis are in. It'll be in America somewhere, and there's one in there just driving around in circles. There's another video of a guy who's just gotten into one of those taxis, like the driverless Ubers, and it's doing the same thing. He's gotten in the car and it's just doing this, and he's on the phone to their call center. He's and the lady on the call center is trying to get him to stop the car, and he's like, "Oh, well, how can you not remotely shut this car down?"
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, that's how you get kidnapped.
There's nothing stopping it going head on into traffic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It drives you straight into a river.
Yeah.
I'd say that's more the reason why Elon Musk hasn't done it, because computers aren't 100% safe. Shit goes wrong. Otherwise, look at every computer out there in the world that runs everything in this place. You never replace them if they never had a fault. So what happens to your car at 100k now when it has a fault? When the computer's running it all.
Yeah, if I'm going to crash through a fence at 100 k's now, it wants to be my fault,
in control,
not the computer's fault.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, when you're dying, you want to at least be your fault that you killed yourself.
You don't just want to be along for the ride, shitting your pants, like, what the fuck?
No one's screaming.
You're screaming at your car.
Yeah. Last thing I want to hear is, fuck you, Elon, as I'm bursting off a friggin' roundabout or something like that.
But there's there's a lot of the safety stuff definitely does get scary, especially I've seen those taxis and that sort of thing. That's some pain in the ass 15-year-old kid that just seems to annoy you and hacks into ones, sitting there driving you around LA where you can't get out of a taxi.
Yeah. Where will it end?
Yeah.
Like once that starts kicking in and they can start remotely, well, they can already remotely access this sort of stuff. So it won't take long I'm sure already kids out there are hacking this sort of stuff.
Oh, but
know how to do it.
Look at all the problems the Lime scooters caused. How are they going to start doing that with cars? Lime scooters has freaking caused havoc in cities of freaking people just getting on and going for a ride and running into people. But like, imagine doing that with a full-blown car that just decides to just, nah, I'm not going down the road anymore.
There's also going to be that's been one of the biggest things since autonomous vehicles were starting to get talked about was who holds the onus of guilt if one does run over someone at a crossing.
Well,
yeah.
Like, is it the vehicle
I don't think
manufacturer?
Elon Musk could give two shits.
Yeah, no, that's exactly
So many
right.
cars are caught on fire and people have died.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no person there to prosecute. Like, there's no one's committed the crime because it's an electronic device has, ploughed someone down.
Yeah.
I'm sure the family of that person would want some sort of justice.
I'd say it'll be a can of worms, that one. Who's
Yeah, whose
takes
problem it
responsibility.
becomes. Yeah, it's very... Yeah, because then did you get your software updates? And there's all sorts of things.
The software update didn't update properly. That's the internet's fault.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, I'd half downloaded it so that two of those sensors were turned off and one was fully updated. Like, there's a million ways it can go, and stop doing it to full drives is what I say.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, or make it that you can turn all these systems off.
That's exactly right. Make it like a Jeep. You just plug a taser, what do they call them, tasers, and you just, like the list of things you can turn off in a Jeep is like this long. It's you turn the headlights off, you can turn whatever you want off.
On my wife's car, she's got a Pajero Sport, and when you run too low on washer fluid, for some bizarre reason, the car thinks that's the worst thing that could ever happen to you because it will beep
Because the headlight,
every 10 seconds until you fill it back up.
Does it wash the headlights? It might be what it is. Might be
Could
the
do.
reasoning behind it.
Yeah, but it's
It's
horrendous.
the same as the Prado, the 250 Prado. So that one we've got at work at the moment for a bit of R&D. They've all got AdBlue. It's giving a warning for
Does
the
it really? Like the new ones?
Yeah.
Got ad,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know
and
that.
it's got on the like a warning, and I'm talking this warning flicks once every minute. You need to add AdBlue low. AdBlue only has 2,300 kilometers left.
It's warning you that many Ks ahead.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like, why? Like, but that's just all of these sensors and that they've put in there.
I know through COVID, AdBlue, they struggled getting in the country.
Yeah. So there's been heaps of that sort of stuff, but it's just like 2,000, and that's what Chris said when he went out and looked at it. Our big scan tool, he said he's like, I can't even turn those codes off while I'm trying to look at other things. He's like our top of the line. I don't know how good our scan tool is. I don't know much about scan tools, but it's a big thing. It's a good one. He's like, doesn't even register those codes. He's just like, it's just they're not even. It's not a warning code, not an error code, anything like that.
Probably have to have the actual Toyota software.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what like they're locking it all down so you can't look at it. Like it's just becoming tighter and tighter and tighter.
Well, we'll get to that point. They will get it. They'll lock. And whether it be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, well, it won't be 20, it'll be 5 or whatever years, they'll lock it down that bad you won't do anything with the car unless you're a dealer. And then it'll probably get to the point that even the dealers can't do it. It'll be the program's probably got, the computer probably goes back to wherever.
Exactly
back to
right.
the OE manufacturer to modify something, or might even not even be that case. You're just too bad, so sad. Here's a new computer.
Yeah,
it's already
exactly.
pre-programmed. You can't touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch it again. Yeah.
You virtually get to the point of when all on self-driving vehicles, like, do you even want to modify it anymore? Like, that's the joy of modifying the vehicle. Is so it drives better. You can
you
take it out on the weekends and you enjoy doing it. But if I'm just getting in the back and
I think the
reading
problem
the
is,
newspaper
in this world, the people making the rules for all this stuff are people a little bit different than what we would say we are. They
of their own
enjoy
shadow.
actually
Yeah.
changing, improving and all that. They just look at something as in it shouldn't be touched.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the sad thing about it.
and we'll still be building 30-year-old things that leak oil everywhere.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. Don't know about the oil leaking everywhere. I'll get over that a bit, but-
oil leaking definitely sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely. I will always stick to older model cars. Like I like my Ranger. it's a 2014 model Ranger, and it's just on the cusp of coming into, like, it's got a reverse camera with sensors, and that's the only sensors it's got. It doesn't have forward parking sensor or anything like that. But it's got heated seats, Bluetooth, all that stuff. That's pretty much as much technology as I'll ever need. Like, the reverse camera is great because it's just good to have the sensors there, but yeah, like, that's as much technology as I think I'll ever need. I'd much prefer older vehicles that don't have much done to it.
Crap.
And then a dirty old GQ so I can go in the bush. If we're still allowed to go in the bush in the future, that's another whole topic.
The wife's new car, she's got the 24 GSR in the Pajero Sport, and it's about the limit of what I would say has the most sort of, electronic features in it, because it doesn't have that lane assist stuff. It has the mirror warning one, but it doesn't do that one where it takes over the steering wheel.
Oh, yeah.
The only one that sort of annoys me a little bit in that car is the tyre pressure monitoring system, because every time you want to go off-road, you lower your tyre pressure down, you got to reset the things over and over and over again, but it doesn't have all the stuff that Toyota seems to cram into the 24 model stuff. Like, it's still basic in that sense. It does have all the, fancy bits that you'd expect, but, apart from it being a Pajero, it's quite a nice car.
Yeah, you're not very fond of your Mitsubishis, are you?
Oh, I love Mitsubishi. They're a great car.
Yeah, now you own one.
Yeah.
Every poor Triton owner that follows our Facebook is just disappointed in everything that you
Tritons are a different story. We don't even talk about Tritons anymore. Be banned.
The new Triton, it appears, I haven't personally stuck my head under one, but it appears they've fixed the front end.
I think they have. They actually put the control arm in a spot that's not completely mental.
It's not on the lower control arm. Yeah, so they've actually re-changed it. So they used to be both like on the very lower part of the chassis rail. Now the upper arm is moved up to where the
Like the rest of the world has built cars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like every other car. So it actually is modifiable to get a lift kit in them and have it not horrible to drive with having zero down travel.
Yeah, but one of the Mitsubishi engineers must have finally stuck his head underneath a
Maybe
different
a Toyota
vehicle.
engineer
And went, hang on a
went
minute.
over to Mitsubishi.
Yeah, literally, like, they went somewhere and went like, how come yours doesn't do this? And I was like, oh, the upper arm's a foot taller. I was like, oh, it's that easy to fix.
Yeah. But honestly, they're a good platform. The amount of times we do rip on Tritons, but
Yeah, they are.
they're a good car.
They're not
really
they're not a horrible, expensive car. Where are Tritons made? Thailand, I would assume, like most things these days? Or most of your older manufacturers? Yeah, they'd be Thailand. So, like, obviously, everyone for years has been getting cars made in Thailand, Nissan, Toyota, Ford, everyone. So yeah, I don't see there's anything wrong with the Triton. I know I quite like the shape of the new ones as well. They're a good looking car.
Oh, the new one's as ugly as hell.
No, it's not.
Oh, they are. They're a shocker.
You drive a Pajero Sport, so.
Oh, my wife drives a Pajero. I just couldn't afford anything better.
I was going to say you changed from a Y62 to a Pajero Sport. So.
Yeah. Anything was stopping me from getting the 62 was the price tag. And the interior.
Oh yeah, true.
Jumped inside, looked like an N14
He wants a wood grain.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Wow. I shouldn't spend that much money on a car, then have to buy stickers off eBay to cover up the wood.
That's what I was going to say. Jump on Temu and you get the carbon fibre friggin' stickers to go over
the
it.
first thing I'd done.
Yeah, Super Cheap will sell some carbon fibres.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wrap it.
I don't know what they were thinking with that, but Jesus Christ, that's pretty bad. For that level of car.
Yeah,
that does not need fake wood grain all through it.
All right, guys, so yeah, we've covered off a fair bit of new cars and how they're making modifying become fairly difficult. But I think we'll probably head back to the office because Mick's looking at us that we might need to go back and get some work done. So
I want to get some smoko. I'm hungry.
yeah, let's go to the cafe.
Yeah.
But make sure you guys let us know in the comments of what you want to hear from us or if there's any special guests you want us to get on board. And make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify or Apple Podcast. And we'll catch up with you guys on the next episode.